Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this short presentation about the history of ICI, the Imperial Chemical Industry of UK, and its wagons. Recently, Accurascale, one of the leading manufacturers, have released their soda ash mineral wagons, which have been derived from the 16-ton mineral wagons. And I have recently purchased these wagons to add to my collection, and I would like to make a short presentation explaining its details and history. I hope you find this presentation useful, and do feel free to post your comments and questions in the comment section, and kindly share this video, like and subscribe to my channel. This will help my channel spread and grow. So let's start. So in this picture you can see the wagon, the 16-ton mineral wagon in its private owner livery from the Mond Division. So as we proceed, we will discuss and learn about what is Mond Division and everything, all the markings that are present here. And that has been beautifully brought out by Accurascale. So let's start. So what does ICI stand for? ICI stands for Imperial Chemical Company. It's one of the largest chemical companies of Britain, and now it has been taken over and is renamed to Tata Chemicals Europe. So this is the logo of ICI, and let's quickly see some of the facts. So we can see it was formed in 1926 by merger of the four companies which I mentioned here: Brunner, Noble Explosives, United Alkali, and British Dye Stuff Corporation. So these four companies merged together and formed ICI. So I would like to show you the map of ICI. So this is the map. You can see how large the network was. It had a very big network, and all these are the divisions. So it had various divisions like alkali, general chemicals, then we had lime, salt, etc. The wagon in our discussion today is focused mainly with the alkali division, mainly in the Waller's Court area. So this is the place where ICI had its soda ash factories. So this is Northwich, as you can see here. Northwich is the place where these wagons used to run, this area. It is the Midland area of Britain. So the wagons used to operate out of the factories that were established by ICI in the Northwich region. So let's proceed further. So important historical facts here. By 1960, the ICI expanded a lot because they won a contract to export soda ash. So what is soda ash? It is a washing soda or calcium carbonate. So this is used in a lot of industries, and they had a contract to export this, and they had to expand their network of wagons because they were running short, which we will see. Next, in 1964, ICI formed the Mond Division, which I showed you, the wagon. It was written the Mond Division. So Mond Division was created by the merger of ICI General and Alkali Division. Further, they had won the contract, and since they were in dire need of a large number of wagons, the Mond Division converts the 16-ton mineral wagons, which were suited for their type of operation. They had converted these wagons for transporting soda ash. And the kind of transformation was mainly all the end doors and the front doors, the top doors had to be sealed off, and they had to add some covering sheet to protect the soda ash from the weather elements and to prevent it from getting spoiled. So they had to do some modifications to the 16-ton mineral wagons in order to transport soda ash. So Accurascale have picked up both these batches in their model, and we'll see what the differences are. But by the end of almost by 1982, ICI had to reduce its soda ash capacity by half at the Wallerscourt facility, and resulted in a lot of job losses. So now we see the background of the soda ash transportation. So a river named Weaver ran in the Wallerscourt area. Earlier, ICI had a large number of ships which used to transport their salt and other chemicals that were produced. And when it came to soda ash, they found out that those ships could not navigate the river properly. So the only way out was to use wagons and transport it via the Manchester Ship Canal at the Partington Wharf. So wharf is a place where the ships dock and the commodities can be offloaded and loaded onto the ships. So there was a wagon tippler. It's a machine that is used to tilt the wagons in order to unload the contents of the wagon. So there was a tippler present at Partington, which lies on the main line of West Coast Main Line, which I'll show you the map later. So ICI had to send off their produce via rail to Partington in order to transport their soda ash. However, the requirement was to use the 16-ton mineral wagons. So they had to use the 16-ton mineral wagons in order to transport the soda ash. And we'll see what route was taken by these wagons as we proceed further in the discussion. So a short history about this. So we'll see in the map in the next slide that the historical route had some salt lines in the Wallerscourt area, but it proved to be inefficient for the large amount of traffic that was soon going to exist in order to transport the shipment of soda ash. So they had to build this gauze siding. Gauze sidings were created in order to handle this traffic of soda ash. Now, this gauze siding was connected to the main line to Partington Wharf, which I will show you. So the soda ash was taken to Partington in order to be loaded onto the big ships via the Manchester Ship Canal. And the route that they took was from the Gosday sidings. They had to go to Glazebrook via the Skeltal Junction, and it had a circular route. So let's see the map here. So this is where our factories were in Northwich. And these are the salt branches which I told you about, which already existed but seemed inefficient. So finally they created the Gosday sidings. The Gosday sidings were created here, and this is the Gosday sidings here. So this entire region was the factories of ICI. The factories were located somewhere here near the Winnington area. So the Winnington area was connected to Gosday sidings via the light railway here. You can see the light railway, I'm pointing it out to you now. It starts from the Oakley sidings to the Gosday sidings, and this was a light railway which carried the 16-ton mineral wagons. So they used to take the soda ash from here all the way here. This is Partington and Glazebrook. This is where the big ships used to carry the soda ash along the Manchester Ship Canal. So the train used to take this route. This is the main line. This is the main line which goes through Weaver Junction, goes to Warrington, and finally they end up in Partington. The empty wagons used to return via this route, via Skeltal Junction, and come all the way via Knutsford and end here. So this is the circular route which the 16-ton mineral wagons took during that time. Now we come to the wagon itself. So the topic is the back queue by Accurascale. So this is the first conversion batch by ICI. So the first conversion batch and the second conversion batch. So the pack queue includes the wagons where the side doors were eliminated, and these are the welded versions. So usually these mineral wagons are two types, riveted or welded. So this wagon is the welded type, where the doors were removed and a sheet was welded at the side. So now you already know what Mond Division means. And coming to the C marking here, it stands for commuted charge. So all the private owner wagons in the British era, they had this marking whenever the annual charges were paid by the private owner. So whenever these wagons were shunted, the person in charge knew that the shunting charges were already paid. So now coming to this panel here, this is the data panel which shows the TOPS code. This means open wagon and double axle open wagon. So POO stands for that. 16 ton is the total weight of the payload that it can carry, which is the amount of coal it used to carry or the amount of soda ash. And tare weight means the weight of the empty wagon, which is 7 tons, 7,000 kgs. CLWD is the name of the owner, which is Clyde Wagon Works. And this is the number of the wagon. Here we see another marking here, which is used to determine the maximum weight, the laden weight, and the speed that this wagon can run. So we'll see that in the next slide. So this kind of marking existed before the TOPS era. So what is TOPS? The total operating processing system that was introduced in Great Britain. In the pre-TOPS era, this yellow placard was built, which showed the different laden, the total weight, the gross weight that was allowed when the trains used to run in heavy, medium, light, or empty. So let's start from heavy. It means this wagon could take up to a weight of 22 tons when running heavy, weight of 16 tons when running medium, and similarly 12 and 8. So if the tare weight is 7 tons, you mean, so 22 minus 7, that means it can take around 15 kgs of payload. So this is where you can see amount of load that the wagons can take. Usually in the yards, these wagons used to be overloaded. So this is just a general placard which used to tell the persons doing the shunting and to give to the driver of the train the data, and that he can understand what is the brake force that was needed to stop this train. So if you have multiple wagons like this, they used to add up all these weights and they used to calculate the brake force that was needed to stop this train. So next is VB, which means vacuum brake. It shows unfitted because these wagons were not fitted with vacuum brakes. I'll be making a video on the brakes very soon, so I'll be discussing that there. RA means route availability. So what kind of routes the train can run on? There were different kinds of RA numbers, which meant express route, depending on the quality of track. So this shows the kind of route this train could run on, and this is the max speed. So 45 miles per hour. So this was not SI, and it was the imperial system those days. So these units, do not confuse them with the SI units. So this is miles per hour. And this is imperial tons. So these weights were old, and they had not shifted to the metric system. So coming on to the next is the discussion about the braking that has been installed on these wagons. So this is a big topic on itself, so I'll try and summarize. This mineral wagon is fitted with Morton brakes. Morton was an engineer who had patented the cam mechanism. So a quick discussion of the history is there are different kinds of braking systems that were employed in the wagons, and different regulations were in play. So a regulation was that the wagons need to be fitted with brakes on both the sides, and the brakes could be released, and the brakes could be released only from the side where the brakes had been applied. So in order to cater for that requirement, this kind of cam mechanism was created. So when the marshaller who was doing the shunting duty applied the handbrake on one side, this used to reverse the mechanism of the lever on the other end, so that the brakes can be released and can be released only from the same side. So continuing our discussion, we see the journal. The journal is the part which helps the axle rotate inside the axle box, and this part is lubricated with oil. So you can see the amount of detail that Accurascale has modeled in creating this axle box. And what is written here is the BR standard 9-inch 4.5/4 tip. So the tip of the journal, the size, the length of the journal is 9 inches.
Coming up next is a live demonstration of the different minute details that are included in this model.
There's a marking here which is absolutely invisible to the naked eye, but under magnification it says BR standard, and you can see the details so minutely brought out by Accurascale here.
So here you can see the zoomed in photograph of the axle box. It says BR standard, and also the 9-inch tip of the journal which is inside this box.
So they used to open up these axle boxes in order to lubricate the oil inside here. The journals need to be lubricated, so you can see the minutely detailed ring, which is an added detail, which used to be, the function was to open up these axle boxes in order to lubricate and maintain the journal bearings inside. And you can see the leaf spraying along with the hanger attached to the sole bar here, which is an absolute joy to see here.
I'll be making a video on the different brake types that are designed by Britain engineers. And on this wagon we have the Morton brakes, the design that was patented by an engineer named Morton, because the regulations were that the brakes needed to be released on the same side as they were applied. So stay tuned for the next video, and please do like, subscribe the channel.